Good evening, good afternoon, everyone. I want to thank all of you for visiting in on Wellens City School Board for the education meeting. I call the meeting to order at 6:44. First, we'll start out with our mission statement. Okay, mission statement, the mission.
The mission of the Wellens City School District is to create and maintain a highly effective educational system in which every student receives the highest quality education. School employees and parents work together to prepare students to become caring, competent, and responsible citizens who value education as a lifelong process.
Thank you. At this time, you have your agenda in front of you. Are there any additions to the agenda? There are no additions. A motion. Make that number 7G.
That's right.
Any other additions? A motion to approve the agenda with the recommended addition.
I make a motion to approve the agenda with recommended additions. Second.
Been moved and proper second that the agenda be approved with the recommended addition. Are there any questions? All in favor? Yay.
Aye.
All opposed? Let the record reflect that the motion was approved. At this time, we'll approve the minutes. Have a minute to look at those. 2 seconds to look at the minutes. Are there any questions about the minutes? Then I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
There are some corrections to the minutes.
Okay,
For, it should say
Yes, sir.
closed session, CLOSED. Number 7 should be, instead of addendum, should be corrections instead of that word addendum. And number 6, I was quoted and it said that we have lost vendors. And what I was saying was that we have lost things that we have approved for purchase, not the vendors, but purchase items that have been approved. We have lost those because of the slow process of purchase orders.
And correction.
Under number 9, under student services, it should say Ethel Crowley instead of Crowley, Crowley. Crawley.
And correction.
I move that the minutes be approved with said corrections.
Second.
And motion and proper second that the minutes be approved with the proper corrections. Are there any questions? All those in favor? Yes.
Aye.
All opposed? Let the record reflect that motion carried. At this time, we'll have recognitions and celebration by Mr. Gregory Stevens.
Good evening, Chair, Vice Chair, members of the board, Superintendent, community. Tonight we have some recognitions and a welcome to bring you. Our first is a welcoming of a partner with us and also soon to be a friend of the greater Halifax and Weldon community. I'll give a brief biographical overview, excuse me. Over the past 28 years, Dr. Patrina Benton Elliott has developed an extensive higher education career. On January 1st, 2023, Dr. Elliott began serving as the 6th and first female president of Halifax Community College. Prior to this appointment, she served as vice president and chief academic and student affairs officer at Robinson Community College in London. In addition to this leadership role, Dr. Elliott has held several senior administrative positions that include Vice President of Academic Affairs, Graduate College Dean, Honors College Director, and Chief Executive Officer of a statewide interinstitutional center in the University of North Carolina system. Over her career, she has established academic programs from certificate to graduate level, raised millions of dollars in institutional funding, mentored countless students, and has presented extensively throughout the country. Dr. Elliott earned her bachelor's in communication studies from UNC Chapel Hill and a master's in adult education and a PhD in leadership studies from North Carolina A&T State University. As a lifelong learner, she also holds higher education and leadership certificates from Harvard University's Graduate School of Education, Leadership Raleigh, Hampton University, and the University of North Carolina system. Dr. Elliott has been inducted in several honor societies and is the recipient of numerous leadership awards. Given that she believes to whom much is given, much is required, she also holds memberships in several service organizations, including the Links Incorporated and Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated. Dr. Patrina Benton Elliott is married to Dr. Stanley Elliott, and together they are proud parents of a daughter, Jordan, a recent graduate of the University of North Carolina at Pembroke, and a son, Sterling, a freshman and Cheatham White Scholar at North Carolina Central University. Go Eagles. And with that, I give to you Dr. Patrina Benton Elliott.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you so very much to all of you for allowing me this opportunity to stand before you this evening. I am truly honored. It is truly a blessing to be before you this afternoon. And for that gracious introduction. What that introduction didn't share with you is that I'm happy to be home. I was born and raised, and you all may have already know this, but I was born and raised in Northampton County, in the little town of Selva, North Carolina.
Oh, yes.
And what that bio didn't share with you is that I'm the daughter of the late Mrs. Nellie Good Benton, a self-educated mother with a 6th grade education, who taught me to never allow my circumstance to define my destiny. And so it is good to be home. It is good to be able to partner with you all and to show the students of Weldon and Halifax County, Northampton County, et cetera, that Halifax Community College is their college. And so I look forward to continuing to partner with you and work side by side, hand in hand, to strengthen opportunities to advance education for our students. I thank you so very much for allowing me to be here today, and I hope it won't be my last opportunity. But thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Elliott while they're preparing. Plenty of people speak very high of you in Robeson County and neighboring counties.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Dr. Williams, can we acknowledge our representative that represents Weldon City Schools, Ms. Barbara Church Board on the Board of Trustees at Halifax Community College, please?
How you doing?
So very much.
Thank you.
Next up, we have recognitions for students and staff. First, I'd like to call up Miss Adriana Britt. Just a little bit about the nomination that you have for Student of the Month. For principal, Mr. Hopkins says that Adriana is a self-motivated student who goes above and beyond to meet goals and expectations. She has proven to be academically strong and among the top 10% of her class. Adriana is always willing to advocate for herself and her peers. She is currently the vice president of her senior class. She is a member of the National Honor Society. We're extremely proud of Adriana, and we're excited to see what the future holds for this outstanding charge. Congratulations, Student of the Month.
Thank you.
A little token for you. And then- I know. Right, yeah, you said. I might as well stand to the side. Next, from Weldon Middle School, the nominee for Student of the Month is Mr. Christian Parker Randolph. We're extremely proud to have nominated him as Student of the Month. His attitude has changed towards school in a positive way. He's paying attention and responding to the Elevate online teacher when called upon. Christian has definitely made a complete turnaround as far as completing assignments. He is now on our honor roll. Our Weldon Middle School Vice President proudly carries his title, so much so that he redirects other students who are off task. He has no discipline problems now. Congratulations, Christian, Student of the Month. Next, for Employee of the Month, we have two this month. This first Employee of the Month, also from Weldon Middle School, Ashley Jeffers. Ms. Jeffers ensures that she safely transports our students to and from school every day. As a side note, there is a lot of research out there that our student transporters can make or break a student's day. They're generally the first or the last person they see who represents our school system. So keep that in mind. Tell our student transporters you love them. Ms. Jeffers always has been very instrumental in serving as a long-term substitute teacher in 6th grade English language arts. Ms. Jeffers is a vital part of Weldon Middle School staff. She participates in professional development, even though she's not required to, data tracking for our students, and also volunteers after school at athletic events. Ms. Jeffers definitely is a true team player. Congratulations, Ms. Ashley Jeffers. And you get a yard sign too. And our final employee of the month. We are proud to announce that Ms. LaQuisha Hudson, guidance counselor, was selected by her colleagues as the employee of the month. Ms. Hudson spends countless hours making sure that our students have everything they need to be successful. Her dedication towards the work of providing guidance to the students of Weldon STEM High School and Career Academies plays a vital role in their success. We are grateful to have a caring and dedicated school counselor such as Ms. Hudson. Congratulations. Next, I'd like to invite our HR Director, Mr. Nick Privet, up for our final recognition of.
Mr. Stevens, before you
Yes,
guys have a question, do we know where all our other schools are represented?
If I don't receive any of the information, then
Do you reach out to them?
reach out to
What about our honor roll and school calendars
the school calendars.
of the activities that's going on?
If I don't get the information, I can't put it on there. Some schools reach out to me and give it to me, and I reach back out to them.
Good evening. Tonight, it is my pleasure to recognize 6 teachers who will receive the Teacher Legislated Performance Bonuses based on their 2021-2022 EBOS growth scores in the areas of 3rd grade reading, 4th and 5th grade reading, and 4th through 8th grade math. An eligible teacher is a teacher who is in the top 25% of the state or their LEA based on EBOS scores in their grade/subject area as determined by DPI. The teachers that I am recognizing tonight have met the criteria. When I call your names, please come forward. For outstanding EBOS student growth in 3rd grade reading, Ms. Takia Squire. For outstanding EBOS student growth in 3rd grade reading, Ms. Sharon Story, who I don't think is with us tonight, but let's give her a round. For outstanding EBOS growth in 4th grade reading, Ms. Terry Borden. For outstanding EBOS student growth in 5th grade reading, Ms. Davida Falcon. For outstanding EBOS student growth in 4th grade math, again, Ms. Terry Borden. For outstanding EBOS student growth in 7th grade math, Ms. Ashley Kidd. And for outstanding EBOS student growth in 8th grade math, Ms. Jaquanta McGee.
Congratulations, everybody. Good job.
That's it.
Yes.
What wasn't shared is that not only do we get the recognition on behalf of these esteemed teachers, but also a nice little check comes along with it.
Yes.
So we celebrate. Y'all work, y'all work.
Expected done.
Congratulations.
That's great.
And may I further say, there were other teachers who also received the same recognition from the state. But according to the state guidelines, you have to continue to be in that LEA in order to receive the recognition and the check. So if there are teachers who received it but no longer are with us, then they don't receive the recognition and or the checks.
Okay.
It could be up to $2,000 each.
The 4,000, I'm saying, she got the 4,000.
Wow, that's great.
At this time, we'll entertain the superintendent's report.
I'd like to say good evening to everyone, Chair Williams, Vice Chair Hale, board members, our board attorney, board clerk, to all of you who have so gathered here this evening. This evening, I'd like to begin my report with a hearty, and I need your support on this one. It's a hearty congratulatory remark for our Board of Education. This month is the National Board of Education Appreciation Month. I would just like for you to stand with me as we appreciate and celebrate our board members. So I would like to say welcome to our new Halifax Community College President, Dr. Elliott. We met and had a healthy conversation on last Friday. And we're really pleased for the partnership that is embarking upon Halifax Community College along with Weldon City Schools. I hope each of you had a wonderful holiday break since we convened last month. The Charger Nation is excited as we are gearing up and getting closer to the dream of our new 612 school for Weldon City Schools and community. We had our kickoff meeting this past Tuesday, and the architect introduced the project. And in a couple of weeks, there will be a visioning meeting, and the architect, Board of Education, school officials, and community stakeholders will all join together in a dialogue which will shape the needs of our new school. More details of that is coming. I'd like to say thank you to our central office staff, principals, teachers, and all staff who worked very diligently and hard in that first semester. Thank you for your stick-to-itness and moving forward as we strive for our 55, as we strive to educate our children and to move them forward into their greatness. I just want to say thank you to each of you and the hard work and dedication that you put forth. We're moving forward to the final stretch of this school year. Let's stay the course and be not weary in well-doing. The prize is at the end. Let us stay strong. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Williams. I'd like to say, first of all, I hope all of you had a nice break, enjoyed it, took some time out for yourself. And now we're going to look forward to you to continue to work hard as you did first semester until you get to that Easter break. I know you, some of you counting down the days already, but let's stay at the plow and work hard. I also would like to make an announcement that on February the 10th, Welding in Action and Omega Psi Phi Fraternity will be sponsoring Mr. Gentry Smith. He's a native of Halifax County. He graduated from Weldon High School in 1977, and he's in charge of the United States Diplomacy of Security, which puts him in charge of about 40,000 people. So he handles the security detail. We'll be having an event here at Weldon High School. It'll be from 1 to 2:30. We're inviting other schools, other dignitaries or people from the community will be coming as well. And he'll provide some question and answer period. And then at 5 o'clock, we'll go down to 51 Sycamore in Weldon from 5 to 7. There'll be light hors d'oeuvres, and he'll be there as well to meet and greet. So all of you that can be there, if you can't make both, try to make one. But we want to welcome him with our arms because he's truly a representative of the Weldon school system. He walked these same halls, and so we want to recognize him for his accomplishment. Again, thank you all for coming and sharing with us in this occasion. That's it. Dr. Williams. At this time, we'll hear financial report statement from Mr. Gregory Harris.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Board Chair, Board Vice Chair, Mr. Superintendent, esteemed board members. What we have today is the financial statements for Fund 2, Fund 4, Fund 5, and Fund 8. I believe you have all this information available to you. And unlike what I've done in the past, I'm just going to hit the high points, pretty much the beginning balances, the year-to-date balances, and give you the, without the lackluster of everything, but provide you with the vital information. Is that fair? Okay, on Fund 2, we had a beginning balance from the month prior of $1,353,100.95, with a year-to-date balance of $1,515,949.85. We had expenditures during that month, prior month, of $2,000, thank you so much. $2,724. I'll get it right. A lot of zeros. And 19 cents, with total expenditures of $206,258.37 for a year-to-date balance of $1,208,982.56. For a year-to-date balance of $306,967.29, with an unobligated balance fund for that fund of $1,661,298.80. Moving on to Fund 4. And this is our capital outlay fund. Beginning balance for the prior month was $39,525.13, with month-to-date revenues of $12,169 and a year-to-date balance of $51,000 $694.13. Expenditures from the previous month were $98,764.15, with the month-to-date expenditures of $27,483.72, and gave us a year-to-date balance of $126,247.87. Year-to-date balance was a negative $74,553.74, but still giving us an unobligated fund balance of $603,285.40. Moving on to Fund 5, Child Nutrition. Our beginning balance from the previous month was $261,368.36. Expenditures for the month totaled $35,060.09, with the year-to-date balance of that wasn't expenditures, that was revenues, I'm sorry. Year-to-date balance of $296,428.45. Our beginning expenditures for the previous month totaled $312,824.33, with month-to-date expenditures of $60,600.98, giving us a year-to-date balance of $373,425.31, and a year-to-date net result of a negative $76,996.86, but still an unobligated fund balance of $252,542.96. For Fund 8, which is our local expense fund, we started our month with a beginning balance of $167,880.02, with month deposits totaling $48,156.25, for a year-to-date balance of $216,036.27. Expenditures for the previous month were $264,322.84, and total expenditures for the previous month of $103,052.68, giving a year-to-date balance of $367,375.52, and a net result for the year of a negative $151,339.25, but still an unobligated fund balance of $529,650.23. Any questions? Yes.
What is C.O. Kelly at Trust?
That is a scholarship fund that we have. Basically, it's funds put away for a particular scholarship that we offer to a student at the end of the school year.
Through Child Nutrition? Okay, this is the other special fund. Okay,
Yes,
got it. Okay, but it is a scholarship fund.
yes. And now our all PRC report. For Fund 1, we started with a current balance of $2,312,402. And we have an ending balance for Fund 1 of 3 million, or remaining balance of $3,415,852.20. Still, we are in a situation with the restart program, the Department of Public Instruction still hasn't released those funds to us as of yet. For the PRC, what is it, 09? That one there is, we're going to be submitting an amendment in the next board meeting to address those negative amounts. And as far as the RCC employees, that is, we've contacted DPI for this allotment. It's just, it hasn't been released yet. For Fund 2, we had a beginning balance of $2,865,169.99 and a remaining balance of $1,547,278.23. The only negative portion on this particular one was PRC 815, which is a technology PRC, and we're just going to be getting reimbursed from the state for those funds. Moving on to Fund 3. We have a current balance in Fund 3 of $9,456,340.71 and a remaining balance of $5,847,452.62. And PRC 49 is a fund that we are waiting for a DPI approval as well. The funds are there, they just haven't been released. And now we're on Fund 4. Which we have a fund balance of $700,329 and a remaining balance of $510,887.05. And for our last fund, Fund 8, we have a current balance of $1,244,035.87 with a remaining balance of $835,125.60. And the child nutrition PRC, which is 313, shows a negative number, but we've received payments and they should be posted next month. Any questions?
Yes. It's in Fund 1. School psychologist, with us not having anyone, are we paying for the contracted services out of that, or like did we contract with a psychologist?
We're not contracting with the psychologist as of yet, and the funds are there for the eventuality that someone does come into that position. But we basically are not afforded the ability to move those funds unless we do some type of amendment.
So who's doing our testing? We're not contracting with a psychologist.
Ms. Fields, can you come and address that, please?
Does that come out of different pots?
So are we contracting a psychologist is the question.
Yes, no.
So we don't pay it out of this?
So is that, do those funds come out of the psychologist?
I believe our current psychologist is being paid out of DC funds. I believe it's PRC 60.
So it's different.
Mr. Chair, didn't the state and Mr. Superintendent, didn't the state approve recently that we can use those psychology funds geared towards psychology in some other ways
That is correct.
because of the shortage of the psychologists across the state?
That is correct.
Okay, can we look into doing something with those funds? Because this is the third or fourth year that I do believe, if not more than that. that I've seen that money just sit there year after year. And if there are some other things that we can utilize it for to benefit our students, we need to use that, please.
We're good?
And
Oh, sorry.
I had one other one, but I wanted to wait till you were done. Um, But where it has open,
Yes.
what are we doing with that? Several line items that are open. Under Fund 3.
Yes. Which PRCs are those? And the only reason I asked that is because I know I did a revision, and I don't know if you received the more updated revision, because all of those were filled in where they were not designated as open anymore.
So, right, okay, so I need to look at that one. Okay,
Paper of these,
right.
Correct.
it wasn't updated in the computer.
I couldn't see that.
Not in the computer.
So, okay, so we're open, we're good there. And it was one additional one I had a question about. It was something related to summer school. It might be further there.
Was it a child nutrition part or?
I'm going back.
Okay.
Yes, okay, but that's all. But this is from up until December, not just December, because my question was about the summer reading camp, as Ms. Hale said. But it's a zero balance, so this is just from August to December.
Right.
Or is it just one?
Okay, thank you, Ms. Hale.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Next, we have fellow program by Dr. Robinson.
Good evening, board chair, assistant board chair, superintendent, and esteemed board members. You have received, I won't belabor you tonight. You have received my presentation and my information regarding federal programs, and similarly, as well as the requested information for ESSER 2 and 3 from Dr. Williams this week as requested. Do you have any questions?
I did have a question regarding the information that was submitted to us that I requested from Dr. Williams regarding salaries. If you can pull out what the salaries and whose salaries being paid out of those ESSER funds, because I know that we designated some people when we hired them, they were to be paid out of those funds, and I didn't see that reflected in the budget.
So that's the information I've also requested, because I need to know that some of those salaries need to come out of another fund instead of 181, because 181 ends, PRC 181 ends in 2024. So we're trying to hold on to as many of those funds as we possibly can for future salaries and for summer remediation recovery.
Okay.
So I can do that.
Thank you.
Because I did actually do that, because I didn't see that before, but it just started happening. So I'm pretty sure you saw that on the report you got. Oh, in addition, there, we are in the process of completing 21st century, the CCOC, summer mini grants. We're in the process of doing that for 100 students right now. I'm going to collaborate with the executive director of curriculum instruction, so we can all be on the same page, because they have another pot of money that they're going to be functioning in. So we're working on that.
Please make sure that that money is allotted for things that we're gonna expend, because we ended up sending about $200,000 before last, and from summer school, and we don't want to do that again.
So I'm only applying for 150,000.
Okay.
And I only slotted for 100 students.
Students, okay.
And these are not necessarily the students that are going to be in remediation. So I'm trying to be intentional about not sending them. Any additional questions?
Yes, looking at software, I know that we had asked for, or the technology had asked for something to keep,
Server?
yes,
That's
those
our-
rooms cool. Do you know if we have those things?
Now, I don't know about the cooling of the rooms. I know about the server, the technology pieces as far as the internet, so to upgrade that. I mean, that was approved and already processed. But as far as the building, the cooling of the building, I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure that Mr. Petrillo knows because we've been meeting about different building things.
Yeah. So, yeah, we met with technology department who had sought out some quotes. And facilities team and I have reviewed those quotes to see what the best approach is. That was prior to, again, some of our improvements of getting a new 612 facility. So the high school's slated to get that, and so that wouldn't be something we need to consider still as we think about where we make those types of investments. But that is something that we is on our project list of things to do.
So it has not been ordered, because I think we were told it had been ordered before. Is what I thought.
No, it has not been ordered. We have not in the contract. We have not bought it for the board. It would definitely be over the $10,000 threshold would require approval.
That was something that was brought to the board. That was prior to Dr. Robinson coming on board in that position.
For the elementary school?
Well, it was, I believe the elementary school, there had been a workaround where they was gonna put they could move the servers to a conditioned space already. And then I think it was for the middle school and the high school is where we would end up, it needed to condition those server rooms.
But it was something that when Ms. Austin was here, that was coming out.
So the quotes were about $60,000 worth of work. And so I know that would have had to been approved.
Rubber sites.
I heard everything being said about the servers at the school, but I know there was lengthy conversation about the upgrading of the service at the central office that was supposed to have been taking place, and we approved something in the tune of $28,000 to be done. It was supposed to have been, I forgot exactly what it was, but we had approved it because we were not able to do some things on the district website because the server would not support it, what we currently had. And I thought that was supposed to be coming out of ESSER as well.
It is, it's coming out of ESSER, I think I pulled it out ESSER 181.
Okay,
Because I went in and did a different budget amendment for that particular amount.
okay.
So that was ordered.
So all of that has been done. I know it was one part of the airflow, it needed proper air conditioning in there to keep the equipment cool. But the other part of that was actually updating the equipment itself, so our system would be more fluid and effective as far as posting and being able to sustain some things that we were putting on the website. That's the part that I'm talking about. Do you know if that?
Yes, that's been done. That was done. I don't know if it's actually, they come in and upgraded it yet, but I know I processed the purchase order, processed the paperwork for it to be done. And
Okay.
a lot of the money for it to be done.
Because I know we asked, and she's not here tonight. I know she's out. Ms. Gupton, we were talking about something being able to be supported on our district website where we could do some streaming live from our website and all of that. That was supposed to be coming out of there as well. Has that portion been taken care of?
Yes, she thought, when I first came, I had to do a budget amendment, so we can allot the funds for that, those items to be purchased.
Okay,
So as far as, I don't know whether or not if the start has been implemented, the money side, the budget part,
got
finance
you.
side, I
Okay,
did that.
all right. Thank you.
And I know that Here Comes the Bus was one of those systems that was needed,
Right.
the upcoming service. So we've been in communication about that. So I know that equipment is on the way based on the timeline that we're communicating about Here Comes the Bus. So we stay in communication about that.
I have one last question, Mr. Williams, and I'm not sure if Dr. Robinson can answer it or Superintendent Williams, but I want to know, I know we're in our last year with some of those ESSER funds. Have we aligned our strategic plan and our goals and our expectations along with that money? Because I know there were certain things when we received that money that we wanted to make sure took place with those funds. Have we aligned those things to mesh and make sure that those expectations are being met through those funds before they're all expended?
So with ESER two, we had to do a budget detail to determine how we're gonna use that money. So we've been using our facilities. So we're down at, I think it's like 500,000 with each school receiving $10,000 each. And we still, we're gonna still spend those funds based on, we're gonna still use for facilities as we start. So we trying to, we come out, it's getting close to being expended, and it's close, and it's in alignment with the budget details that's in CCIP.
Okay.
And with ESER three, everything we're doing ESER three is all aligned with Title I and school improvement plan, and that is gonna be based on what we're doing as far as the strategic plan is concerned. Because we all came to the table when we did plan with ESER three. So, I'm to answer your question. But because I know we're gonna be audited on it, I'm trying to make sure that whatever we said we're gonna do with CCIP, that we're doing it as a district.
Right.
For especially ESER two.
Okay. Thank you.
Can we look at a summer bridge program for our students that are coming from elementary to middle and from middle to our two high schools? Just so that we can get them acclimated with everything. I'm not sure if that is in conjunction with Title I, but can we look at doing that for our students going into the 23-24 school year?
We will have that conversation and see how we can make that.
So I know last year we did a small bridge for the fourth graders coming over to fifth grade, and one, I think it was a couple of days for the eighth graders going over to the ninth. And I think we used Title I for that when I was on the principal side.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Ross. I'm sorry.
Fast, I was looking at some. No. I want to say something. I want to Mr. Edwards real quick on the PRC report. Not that he needs to come back up. I just want to point something out so he can bring it to us updated next month. On Fund 2, under the PRCs, these numbers are not correct. Something is off. I'll point out just one. Athletics has a budget of $202,900.78. If the year-to-date expenditure is $64,959.46, there's no way there's only $95,000 left. There's no way. $137,941.32 is what's left, unless something has been spent and it's not reflected on this report.
We did not put the encumbrances
Okay,
on the map.
okay,
That's probably what it is. I mean, that the column that has encumbrances,
okay,
there, just like the POs that are still outstanding that are to be paid. And of course, when you do that, you have to add that information into that in remaining balance.
okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I was just doing some quick math in some areas and I
No,
saw
it does
that.
not add up.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Thank you,
Yes,
Ms.
sir.
Williams.
Yes, sir.
I have one question, Mr. Williams. If we have dates on the Title I nights for our high school and RVET, that way so that some board member, our board members can try and get out and be supportive. We have dates yet,
For RVEC,
and it says to be determined for both of our high schools. Do you have any dates yet?
so
Dates,
Oh, the Title I night. So I know that the high school is having theirs on the 31st of January. And I'm not,
what time is that, Mr. Hopkins?
it's going to be at 5:30.
5:30 on the 31st.
and Mr. Pullen is meeting with Ms. Hicks to determine when his Title I night is going to be.
Thank you.
Okay, this time we'll entertain EC and the pre-K program.
So, Chair or Vice Chair, Superintendent, board members, I bring you updates from Student Services Department.
All right, so from student services in the area of social and emotional, we were very pleased to offer a mental health awareness virtual sessions right before Christmas break. We offered sessions for staff. Had quite a few teachers attend that voluntary session. We even had some students attend the student session, some high school students and their parent actually joined that virtual session. They gave positive feedback and suggested having more of that type of programming to help them manage the everyday stresses of life. And it was very timely right before the holiday season as well. Some noted as that could be a stressful time, especially those who might be grieving loss during that particular time of year. So look forward to doing more sessions like that virtually. We did something like that in May as well in person right here at the high school. So we can kind of continue our focus on mental health and manage our own social and emotional. In terms of School Health Advisory Council, Shaq, put that there just as an update. As you recall, we were awarded $60,000 through a Shaq grant kind of in coordination with the COVID grant with the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services. We spoke, provided an update previously about how that fund can be used for playground equipment at Weldon Elementary. I have since had some discussion with a playground consultant out of Cary, North Carolina, to talk about exactly what that budget could get us. Well, playground equipment is very expensive. So I think we're gonna spoke to Dr. Robinson actually about some of the ESSER money that we're talking about from ESSER 2, which is coming extended, about how we can add some additional funds, because that would outside play would be of necessary use when you think about how COVID has impacted us. So hopefully we can add some additional funds and bring a quality playground equipment to add to that particular grant funding as we continue to work with the consultant. From the college and career ready bucket of items, the State Employees Credit Union Scholarship is live. Students can see their school counselors regarding the State Employees Credit Union Scholarship. The scholarship is due by March 17th to their school counselors by 4:00 p.m. The goal is that the LEA submit, the state employees determines the number of scholarships they give each district by district membership. We are awarded one this year based on our membership. And we will have a district selection committee to choose applicants from both RVET and Weldon STEM High School Career Academy, even with an interview as well as part of that process to create an equitable and fair process in determining, making a recommendation to State Employees Credit Union for that member. Also, the Ethel Crawley Scholarship. The Ethel Crawley Scholarship is also live, and that is through February the 7th. That is a full ride scholarship available to high school students, and that has already been announced, and students are applying for that. As well as the Golden Leaf Scholarship, which is a scholarship just for students in rural counties. A really good scholarship valued at $14,000 that is for students who go to college and come back to give back to their rural communities. And it has like an internship component all the way while they're in college. They get a coach while they're in college to help prepare them for coming back to serve their rural communities. And so that's also another really good scholarship for our seniors as they prepare for a career in college. We had 3 nominations that were submitted for the North Carolina Governor's School this year. We're very excited about those students and their potential to be selected by the state to go further and be a participant in this year's North Carolina Governor's School. So once those are announced, we'll certainly be celebrating them. We are working to at least highlight at least their nomination now on the district webpage. Our AIG coordinator, Ms. Plum, is gathering their bios just so we can at least announce their nomination, but that is also in itself a huge feat, so,
Mr. Petrell, we
yes.
are guaranteed one slot, right?
We are guaranteed
finish
one
it.
slot, yes. WIOA, due to the vacancy created by, right now, one of the vacancies are a school counselor at RVET. We have been using that support to help with FAFSA, things like that, with students that have come in contact with that particular individual, because that skill set kind of is transferred and students need help. They can seek support and from many different type, many adults who need it. So that is one update that was shared with me about work that is happening at that particular support person within our schools supporting workforce innovation, but of course that can touch many different areas of students. So that's just a kind of few updates for student services area. Any questions for those? Anything related to student service? Before we go to exceptional children. All right, next slide. Also have updated counts for this month for our exceptional children's department. Currently, we have 97 active EC students. That was as of 1/13/2023. Those are students with an active IEP in Weldon City Schools. That is up 1 from our December report where there was 96. And we have 4 students that are awaiting eligibility. Of course, we are working diligently within the EC department to meet those timelines. And that brings our total count of those who are active and awaiting eligibility to 101 students. And also we have reflected, updated the next slide, please. Just so you can kind of see where where we support students who need additional support based on their identified disability, just so that as a board, might be helpful as a board to think about resources and how we are supporting students based on a specific area of need within our schools. Also, our preschool count, we have 30 preschool students currently. We have 15 students served in 2 different classrooms. Our preschool screenings for speech will be actually tomorrow on Friday, January the 19th. We received the preschool pyramid model funds of $14,300 to support the transdisciplinary play-based therapy room at WEGA. And also, we are also looking at getting staff members trained in February on CPI, nonviolent crisis intervention, as an update, because one of the things we identified, I think, was previously it was just maybe 1 person or 2 maybe trained in nonviolent crisis intervention who was our support, PRC 29 support specialist. But generally thinking about how nonviolent crisis intervention is utilized, you usually have a team of folks within each building who are trained to provide therapeutic support to de-escalate students who might be in crisis. And so working with Ms. Fields to identify team members in each building so that if there is a crisis, we can respond using that team approach to de-escalate a student in that situation. Using EC funds where we can with EC staff, but also we received that $10,000 as part of our school safety grant, so that can be used for this type of training.
Thank you.
Oh, you're
I
welcome.
made that request.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes. You're
Will
welcome.
you let me know when you're coming?
Yes.
Do you already have that done?
But the date, not yet. It's in February.
Okay.
But I don't have the exact date.
Okay.
That's all for EC. Any questions? I have Fields here as well. to help answer.
Do we have any, I know you said there was some testing tomorrow for speech.
Mhm.
Do we have screeners here in our district that can provide like the screening right here in Envision? Like trained staff members? I know in some districts they have, like the teacher assistants have been trained to provide that service.
I don't think so, but I'll let Ms. Fields answer that one. I'm not aware of any training. I'm aware of what you're saying. We can have training.
That would say no.
the school?
Screenings that will be done tomorrow will be done by the speech therapist. I'm unaware if any of our staff have received training for speech.
No, not speech screenings. They can do like the vision and hearing, like for students that are being referred for special ed services.
Normally, we send that to the nurse.
And she handled that. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't understand your question. Yeah, the school nurse does that.
Because I know in like some districts, they have the nurses trained, like the teacher assistants too.
Oh.
But maybe, with us being small, it could be done. And one other thing about our hearing impaired students, are we providing, how are we supporting them? I know they're in the regular classroom. Do we have like special devices? Are we teaching them sign? Or anything?
We do not have a hearing impaired specialist in the district. So one of the first steps is to get the medical diagnosis, and we are working on getting that medical information through the parent. And that has been a task.
We're going to contact DPI so they can provide support for hearing impaired students. So that we can, offer that service. And I know, Ms. Fields, you had told us it was about 8 students that was
From the CSA referral.
CSA. How many of those have we already identified?
We've got one.
That's, we have from service as well. I think, Mr. Miller, help.
Nutrition.
Oh, child nutrition, yes, operations. All right, for child nutrition, I bring before you actually an item for action. We are in need of milk coolers at each of our schools. Wega, well, each of our 3 schools where we actually make the lunch. Wega, middle school, and the high school. And I provide to you 3 quotes, and this will be funded out of child nutrition budget. One quote was from Central Restaurant Products for $11,771.71. We have a quote from Beverage Air for $12,933.48, and a quote from Webster Store for $12,936. We are recommending for your approval the quote from Central Restaurant Products for $11,771.71.
Were they all the same as far as?
Same specs, similar specs,
Okay.
similar specs.
I make a recommendation to approve from Central Restaurant Products.
Second.
Oh, I make a motion. I make a motion to approve Central Restaurant Products.
Second.
It's been motion, properly second, motion by Ms. Hill and properly second by Ms. Kim Robinson to accept the bid from Central Restaurant Products. Are there any questions? All those in favor? Yes.
Aye.
All nays? So be it.
For transportation, actually I have 2 items. One is just some recognitions. As we talked about earlier, oftentimes our school bus drivers can be unsung heroes in our district. And we just want to always find as many ways to celebrate them as much as possible. Because I can honestly say that when I look at surrounding counties across the state, one thing we don't have to worry about is how our kids have been getting to school this year. I mean, we have not had to worry about how we're gonna get kids, or counseling routes and counseling school, and that's something we don't take for granted. And so whenever we can, we try to celebrate. And I was so glad to hear Ms. Jeffers be our one of our employees of the month. However, we also within transportation try to find another way to recognize drivers for just making sure that they provide a clean, safe space on buses. And we presented our squeaky clean drivers of the week during our Christmas celebration, and the drivers, the competition started. But so we recognize once a week, and we give them a $10 gift card for Chick-fil-A for lunch. And Mr. Freeman goes in and just kind of does his little walk around and tour and identifies at least, all of them doing a great job, but we identify at least one who does a little extra to stand out, whether that's, as he said, the bus that smells good. But so far, we started that when we returned from Christmas break. We've had Miss Rose Mollett, who bus 198 from Weldon High School. And then our second week winner was Miss Mildred Lewis, bus 344, also Weldon High School.
Awesome.
So those are our drivers for all that they do. The second item that I bring to you for action is a recommendation for purchasing 2 new activity buses. Weldon City Schools issued an invitation for bids back in December to request bid proposals from our state or from our vendors for 2 new activity buses. We requested that all bids be received by January 10th. And we received 3 bids. 2 of them met the criteria to be evaluated when we opened those bids on January 11th. I provided you a bid tabulation sheet so that you can view the vendors that submitted a proposal. We had 2 that actually were qualified based on their bid submittals to be evaluated. We district put together an evaluation team to review those proposals. That evaluation team was made up of myself, Mr. Anthony Freeman, Director of Transportation, Dr. Jeannie Robinson, Director of Federal Programs, and Dr. Wendy Carpenter, the Executive Director of Curriculum and Instruction. And we utilized the criteria that was in the IFB in terms of making an award, which was looking at the price that was offered, the general reputation, the performance of the capability of the bidder, conforming with specs, delivering and installation of schedule. But specifically, we really looked at the quality of the product that the vendors were proposing. And when we looked at the 2 vendors, we found that just looking at just based on quality of the buses, that one was clearly better for our school system in terms of being a more responsive bid. That's really based on when we looked at Carolina, the recommendations that the evaluation team made to Superintendent Williams to look at negotiations was based on the fact that Carolina Thomas, their bus, just in terms of their product, was designed to be more aerodynamic, creating less drag. The Carolina Thomas bus spec at a greater turning radius, which is a safety feature. The factory installed AC unit operated at increased BTU when compared with the competitors, or the competitor in this case. There's greater seat spacing. I think it was 3 inches more at 30 inches compared to the competitor, which for some of our high school students and athletes. That can mean comfort when they're doing their homework on the way back home, right? Improved visibility with larger windows on the Carolina Thomas bus, of course. The more we see, of course, that's always best when operating the large vehicles. And the storage compartment requirement that we requested in the invitation for bid. Carolina Thomas was the one that could meet that without exception. There was some other exceptions that our other vendor was requesting to try to meet that. And so, so we bring before you tonight a recommendation to approve a contract based on us following our process for selecting Carolina Thomas as our vendor for our 2 new activity buses. Once the team approved or evaluated and came up with, based on that kind of conditions and looking at the quality of the bus, we did do some negotiating. We were able to then do some negotiations with Carolina Thomas, and we have a final bid from them, which you can see listed here, that document here. They are offering us a single bus at $134,397, and that comes to a total cost for both buses at $268,794.
Is it 134?
Where's
That's
that?
139.
Yeah, I see 139. Where's that in this?
That other
Right
sheet
here.
like this that I gave. Look at the single sheet.
Right here, right?
That's
Yeah.
the updated sheet.
That's
Yeah, so if you look at the bid tabulation, that's just what the invitation for bids come in.
Right.
But once we evaluate these programs, then we can then speak with that vendor and negotiate price, which we were able to do so in this situation.
And I see the backup camera, right?
Yes, backup camera is included as an option, rear backup camera there. That option was that $1,120 option.
Any further discussion?
I have a question. I did see on this one, it said something about K through 5. That means smaller kids. So how would that, I mean, would the seating change for, high school children? High
Yes.
school size children?
So,
Because it's saying K through 5 up here, so.
So it's that 74 is based on, 72 is based on elementary, so that would decrease as you get larger. kids,
Okay.
right? And I'm sure you got the exact number for high school, 48. 45.
So you're going 3 to a seat for elementary, 3 to a seat for elementary.
I make a motion to approve Carolina.
Second that motion.
Okay, been motion by Ms. Taylor and second by Reverend Syke to approve the contract for the activity bus with Carolina Thomas. Are there any questions? All in favor, say yes.
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion approved. That bus come with the Carolina Thomas.
Thank you. Great job to the team. As I mentioned, we helped contribute to this. Facilities, bring before you an action item for approval. You have before you a change order in addition to then a contract extension on that change order as well. And this is for Weldon Elementary School. That is your Progressive Design Collaborative change order. This change order is to will ensure that every space at Weldon Elementary School, once this HVAC project is completed, will have air conditioning with the units that are being installed. That is part of, that was an additional work that was added, it was not included in the original designs. But however, as we work with our architects and those contractors, that was something we discovered. We want to make sure that upon completion of this project and that we want to have in place. So as you can see, there was an initial contract amount of $396,000. We've since then had a change order already that was approved for $48,817.03. And then there was this change order that I'm asking for approval is $62,333.17, which comes to a total amount of $507,150. And that is an error that I caught. And I addressed that with our engineer, asked him to make that change by 3 cents, but it must be correct for our auditing purposes. If you see there, they have 17 cents, but it's really 20 cents.
Okay.
So I'll make sure we get that corrected when we make this approval. And also the other correction that I also see, this is Weldon Elementary School, not Jim, and I've also asked them to correct that as well. Okay, those are just little details. Yes, on all those pages, yeah. So with
I thought we had
those,
asked that before, have
I have, and I got to ask each time that they send me these documents. So yes.
Make a motion to approve, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
With these additional change orders, and of course, they need to take place. Looking at the age of the elementary school, I think the age expectancy on school buildings is about 30 years, give or take, depending upon.
What I heard last week was 20 for the middle, like when I heard that, when the engineer presented last week about the middle school, he said it was 20 years because we were at.
I wouldn't be issued.
Oh, okay, yes.
I've heard our attorney refer to 30 years before, so my question is, the elementary school, one phase was built earlier than the second phase, of course. I think second phase was built in 99, so the first phase is a little older than that by 2 or 3 years. So with us putting all of these new units in there, in case we had to do something in years down the road, I'm saying the next 4 or 5 years, would these units be compatible? Or you follow what I'm saying? I mean, if we're putting $500,000 into those, would it be something that we could actually transfer to another building if something was to happen in the next?
At Weather, you mean?
Right. 4 or 5 years.
Well, I think we've learned from what the work we're doing at the high school, and I would base my experience on that. And they're saying, well, yeah, sure, we can use what we've already purchased and use it for a new space.
Okay.
So I would imagine that might be the same. This would be a rooftop unit that you might drop potentially on another. But yeah, actually very good. And I did want to clarify, the meeting that I was referencing was the meeting where we had Steve Campbell talk about the proposed project. Yeah.
I'm just concerned about that. Just,
Yes, sir.
in case, I mean, we never know. We might be in a circumstance and we have to do something, and I would hate for us to have already put $500,000 and then, we can't get it from the county, we can't get it from the state. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Discussion.
make a motion. I make a motion to approve Progressive Design Collaborative change order number 4 with the changes that Mr. Cottrell mentioned.
Second.
Okay, we have most comments here, second by Brother Sykes. Motion to accept the amendments, the change order. Are there any questions? All in favor? Yes.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed. May I ask a question, please? We had that bad rain and roof in the cafeteria leak. I know Baker has been up there. I've seen them out there. Has that been taken care of? Do you know, or they still working?
Yeah, so hopefully that will be now enclosed after this weekend, the work this weekend. So that leak came from when they removed the rooftop units, they capped them. Cap means plywood and plastic essentially. And that high wind came and blew some of that away, hence causing that leak.
Thank you. I saw the replacement and we even said that.
Yeah. And so that work is happening this weekend. And as you can see, the contract extension was also that they're proposing that they be able to complete this by the 24th, February the 24th. So we got some temporary heat arranged now. That's kind of part of the timeline that which we kind of are in getting this work done. But that is the end goal is to have that place fully conditioned.
Thank you, sir. Question?
I'm glad you prompted that, Mr. Williams. In as much as water did come in the cafeteria area, the 10 space heaters that were purchased for the cafeteria and other places, were those space heaters damaged? Did it rain on them or? I don't know.
We haven't got those.
Yeah, not aware. I don't think they were in place when that rain came.
Okay, I'm just making sure that the time was different. Thank you.
Yes, sir. And the last item is really not for action. It's for, I think y'all already took action. Change order?
Yes,
Okay.
we just did it.
And the last item is really not for any action tonight. Just want to update you really as we work to be proactive about our HVAC systems, keeping students comfortable throughout the year, whether that's warm and cool is vitally essential. And I just wanted to, I know when I first got here, back in the spring and the summer, there's several times where we were operating summer school at the middle school.
Right.
And that chiller was shutting down on us. And so not for sure what we might be approaching when we enter the warm season, but we do want to think proactively. And Mr. Davis Facilities kind of been working with a vendor that can provide some temporary chillers, a mobile chiller, which they back a trailer up and hook a chiller up to the school if it ever becomes necessary. Because we don't, if something were to fail based on that unit right now being at its life expectancy, if something were to fail, we would have to, imagine we want to do something to keep our students and staff in the best conditions. So something to consider. We did get some price on what that would look like. A temporary chiller would be about $13,000 per month if we ever had a complete failure of that system. Knowing kind of just from experience this summer, we had some touch and go moments of, with summer school at that particular space. But want to just kind of be a little proactive and at least let you know that's something we're thinking about based on what we know about that system right now.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next, we'll have school health. Is that Mr. Miller?
Good evening. Good evening, board members,
Good evening.
Chair, Vice Chair, and Superintendent on school health. Our COVID-19 testing updates. So as of today, we have a district-wide total of 323 participants in our testing program. 4 at Central. We have 7 additional for a total of 14 at the early college, 16 additional participants, students, of course, for a total of 152 at the elementary school, 3 additional staff members and 40 additional students for a total of 74 at the high school. And at the middle school, we have 35 additional students for a total of 79 at that location. Our positive cases as of January for students, we have 1 at RVAC, 2 additional at the elementary school, 3 additional positive cases at the high school and 4, which is stable at the middle school. And the last case among students was today. And positive cases as of January for the staff members, none at RVAC, 1 additional at the elementary school, 2 additional at the high school, 1 at the middle school, and 1 additional at Central. And that last case was the 16th of this month. Any questions?
No questions other than, Ms. Williams. Mr. Miller, do you suggest that we have Mr. Robusto come again, and talk to us regarding our increase in numbers in the county?
Yes, ma'am. That would be great.
Okay, so that's something that we can set up for, February. I was looking at, Mr. Futrell, he's gonna be contacting.
Okay, sounds good.
And I'm also looking at our low numbers at the early college and with, an outbreak there, not an outbreak, but a positive case there today. Is there any way we can get one of our new nurse extenders there to kind of increase those numbers there to get those kids back into the program?
Yes, ma'am. We have 1 nursing extender who is based with the middle school, and she should be able to travel back and forth between there and the early college.
Okay, so we can try to get that done hopefully by next week, hopefully starting next week.
Yes, ma'am.
I know we had to cancel practices today and the game tomorrow because of an outbreak of, the case.
Yes, ma'am. And we got as many of the athletes on all teams to participate in the testing program, coaches included.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I know that we had discussed the monies that we were gonna have left. Are we looking like we're gonna spend it all, or are we gonna use it all for?
We will be spending it all. Mr. Futrell could speak more specifically.
So I do know initially when we did revise the budget, we revised it for 4 nurse extenders. And of course, because of this interest in applicants, we would not feel that, which will leave that budgeted money being be spent. So I've been looking at kind of where we would be and left over funds, and we would have some additional monies if we, even right now, because they weren't employed in October, right? So there was lapsed salary in that budget. So one of the things that I've been looking at the grant to see or consider is to add in that budget something to purchase that would clean the air in our classrooms, like clean air filters, something we can just purchase with that money that will still be supported with COVID. And it's something that I know a lot of school districts did invest in when COVID, when we first returned from COVID, is to have those clean air purifiers in our classroom spaces.
And they'll be in all schools?
That'll be as many as we can purchase with the leftover money.
Are we still purchasing water for the schools? Because I know RVAC doesn't have water.
So we have the hydration machines that we changed the drink fountains.
We don't have fountains at early college.
Right, at early college, that is something working with Culligan, with Mr. Pullen, to see if we can get just a Culligan machine there, because they're ordering bottled water right now.
Okay.
But that is something that I can prioritize.
Okay. And it might be something that we can purchase out of that extra money too.
That is something, yeah, at least get us started, but once June 30th hit, you'll be responsible for that.
So if we don't spend it by June 30th, then we lose the money, or is it?
We will spend it.
We don't spend it.
Oh, right, but okay, I know that one time we had talked about it going over into possibly July or August. It won't, June 30th, that's it.
June 30th is it. And so I think that's a good idea, using that for the Culligan machine, but also those clean air purifiers would be something that would be sustainable.
Right. So we are still advertising for extenders. Or did it?
It's still posted.
It's still goes.
Yeah, but it'd be very, very difficult now for someone to come in for a few months, but it's still posted.
Do we have a Culligan or a water fountain over in the gym back in the area where they're back there in the working out? something like that?
I'm not certain. Mr. Hunt, do you know if there's a water machine?
I'm not certain.
Is a water fountain there?
Hall, but it is one right outside the weight room,
Okay,
here on our main hallway towards the rear of the building.
Oh, okay.
Student athlete just confirmed there is a water fountain in the gym on the back hallway.
Okay.
Can you use it? Is it? Can you get?
Yes.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
thank you.
Okay, thanks, sir. Ms. Cribb, dress code. Staff dress code.
So Ms. Privet is gonna share with the board per the request. I don't know what specific questions you have, but that's a board policy. And that should have been included into your dockets, and similarly as well as.
Good evening again, Chairman Williams, Madam Vice Chairman of the board. Information was brought to me that there was concern regarding the staff dress code policy, so just will turn it over to you to share your concerns.
Is there a policy?
Yes, we have a
Can you
policy.
read it? Because I don't have a copy of it. Can you read it?
You said you didn't have a copy?
Did you have a copy? It's in,
It's
it's attached to something.
Yeah, it should be policy code 7340, employee dress and appearance. I can give you my copy.
We have any discussion? Okay, thank you very much. Ms. Cribb. Okay, and then do y'all want to break now? Or keep going?
Don't, I just like to have this enforced. No question. I would just like to have this policy enforced in our district. We expect our students to dress a certain way, so definitely our staff should dress appropriately as well.
Ask a question. I'm sorry.
If that dress code, talking, I mean, I don't know. Who asked about it, I forgot to ask about it. I remember some talk, I don't know who it was. Concerning the dress code. On Fridays, wasn't that like dress down day, casual day or something to that effect? So if the policy, if Ms. Hale is saying that the policy, she won't see it enforced or won't see it followed, so that means that the Friday has to be done away with then, right? Or what? I'm just asking.
Well, Fridays, I think that this should probably be revisited and revised to include Fridays. As not being, a dress down day as an incentive to our staff and our students. Well, students are already dressed down, but it's as an incentive to our staff. So probably, I would suggest that we revise this to include the Fridays being a dress down day, not to take that away from anyone. But for the rest of the week, we're sending students home for coming dressed inappropriately. And, but we have staff that are coming to work dressing inappropriately. And I feel like if we're gonna enforce it for the students, the same need to be done for the staff.
I'm with that. I was just asking for clarity because Ms. Hale said it needs to be followed. That's why I brought up about the Fridays, because that's not in there.
So I'm gonna suggest to the board that we just revise this to include Fridays as being dressed down days. That's an incentive.
Isn't it? I totally agree. Okay, do we have anyone for public forum? Dr. Lee?
Yes, sir. We have Ms. Regina Brooks.
Mrs. Brooks?
Mr. Williams,
Yes.
you skipped
The
Cotton
Jean.
that we added.
I'm sorry. Excuse me, we're very bothersome.
So just wanted to know where we are. Do we have any updated information? And when will they come back and do their final report?
And unfortunately, Dr. Carpenter is not with us tonight. She has a medical situation she has to deal with. But in her report to me, we've not heard back from Cotnia representative. Once we do, we were thinking that because we are making some transitions with our new school effort and don't know how all that's gonna play out. To what extent do we go and are we ready to do so? And in the first meeting, the conclusion is that, yes, we qualify to move forward. We're just waiting on the representative from Cognia to respond back to us as to the next steps and the timeline for that. So we don't have a timeline or next steps as of late this afternoon from Dr. Cole.
Another discussion. Mrs. Brooks. Let's turn it now. And we have 3 minutes. Well, we're ready, Mrs. Brooks.
I'll wait till you get this. Good evening to all. No regrets. See, I will create new heavens and a new earth. The former things will not be remembered, nor will they come to mind. Isaiah 65:15. A message for 2023. Time is out for hidden educational political agendas, along with mental health and the legal system that's in array. I have been expressing educational concerns to the Weldon City School Board for the past 25 years. I continue to inform you that I am not the only messenger, but I am a messenger sent for the children. Tonight, I'm presenting to you an invitation. This invitation will address changes that are needed for the success of Weldon City Schools, especially for your accreditation. If you are interested in the vision that has been delivered to me, then I'm asking that one representative from the school board, the superintendent, or his designee attend the proposed meeting that you have in front of you. I pray that you will be excited and serious about this new initiative. Remember, you have more funds than you've ever had. You're top heavy, more administrative positions than many large systems. Your enrollment can and should increase. The initiative I am presenting, I can guarantee success. I repeat, I can guarantee success. I haven't run my educational race. I've been given a vision. I plan to see God's face for my purpose. Thank you for your servitude. Thank you for listening with an open mind, body, and soul. You will be given the first opportunity to present in what, as I said, I can guarantee. If not, then I plan to go statewide, even nationwide, for success for the children. So if you are interested, you can get on board. I will be moving into the future. Good evening, good night, and thank you.
Thank you. At this time, we'll entertain action on the consent agenda.
I can have a question
Yes, ma'am.
on the field trip from Arvin. I'm just looking at the dates. How long is the field trip? I see 3/8 and then I see 3/21.
It's two
It's two different trips. Okay. So they all on the same.
The RET trip is 3/8 through 3/10. It's 2 nights. The focus is going to be sophomores and freshmen.
Maybe it was stated a bit wrong.
This is the one to Washington, D.C. you referenced.
Yes, sir.
Right.
That's That's the one that costs $9,000.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. That's for the bus, the hotel, and to Mount Vernon.
And then the senior trip is to Florida.
Yes, ma'am. That's-
It's all intertwined, that's why I'm confused. It's all together. Okay. And so what date is that? The 21st through?
Senior trip is leaving on the 28th of March, I believe. And we come back on Sunday, first.
I see March 21st on my. That's what I was confused.
21st is the FBLA trip, I believe. That week's the FBLA trip.
Okay.
Discussion. Motion to accept consent agenda. Proper motion by Ms. Hale and second by Ms. Edie Jenkins to accept the consent agenda. Are there any questions? All in favor, yes.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed. Now we are asking for closed section. And this will exclude two. So for the consent agenda, I have most approved the consent agenda
I make a motion-
as recommended.
I make a motion to approve consent agenda.
We just did consent agenda.
I'm not consent, excuse me,
Oh.
the personnel.
Oh.
recommendation. Thank y'all. Have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Been motion by Ms. Hale and second by Ms. Jenkins to accept the action from the recommendation from the closed session. Any questions? All in favor? Yes.
Aye.
All opposed? That record reflect that the recommendation from the closed session has been approved.
Board members, I believe there's one individual who will be voted on separately, is that correct?
Two.
Two.
So we did just approve. You said it closed the personnel.
He said, but he deleted
I
two.
said with the exception of those
Exception
two.
two.
Oh, I didn't hear that. I apologize. I
That's
didn't hear
okay. For the first one, number 4 was pulled. And then on C, number 5 was pulled. That was 2 individuals, correct?
And number 1. Let me see. Or you said you just.
That was
all?
pulled. That one was pulled.
I got you. I got you.
That makes sense to take a 5-minute recess.
I make a motion to have a 5-minute recess.
Then motion by Ms. Hale and second by Ms. Harrison to Ms. Robinson to have a 5-minute recess. Any questions? In favor? Yes.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We'll recess for 5 minutes.
He stopped it.